Hello again, friends, and you are our friends, and welcome back to this evening's Talking Town, your Ipswich Town podcast on the HDR Network. And I am here with a very old school couple and a very old school microphone. Sadly, my one broke, so you won't hear from me tonight, which I'm sure will send cheers throughout the county of Suffolk and probably wider afield as well. I will start with the man at the bottom of the screen there. You would have seen his name and his face on the intro, the 90s intro. He set me the task this week. Could I make a primetime WWF intro? And I hopefully think I've come through. Matt, you've not seen it yet, but when you do, you'll be absolutely delighted. But how are you this evening?
More good, thanks. More good. I'm still on the Australian Shiraz.
Good, Matt.
As I had last week. It's a slightly bigger glass this week. I'm all good. Absolutely.
I'm on the Erdinger, a beautiful blonde from Belgium. She's a stunner. She's a stunner. I've already had half a bottle. And to my left there, Cruncher, Absolute Radio's finest contributor. He's Mr. Pioneer
sponsored
himself.
by Pioneer.
Yeah. Pioneer tonight, boys.
Absolutely. Cruncher, how are we?
Very good. Very good.
Good. Well, you are the Cruncher. You are the resident number 6 that will sort out the wheat from the chaff. But Mr. Phillips down there, Richard, he has been wading into, shall we let him explain? Because this week it's been more eventful for you, isn't it, Matt? Because you've been stuffing some canaries on Twitter.
Yeah. So after I'd watched Norwich and Man United and saw Maguire score in the last seconds in their FA Cup dream, I was filtering through Twitter and on came Old Farm legend Grant Holt, Norwich City Hall of Famer, professional wrestler, keeping with the theme of the show, right?
True.
So he came on and he tweeted, and he was like, Norwich City, down to 10 men, 3 months off, an amazing effort, plenty of positives to be taken for the future. They lost 4-0 last night, so maybe not the last point. But, I looked at this and I had to sort of double take it. Do you know what I mean? Was he talking to Premier League footballers? Or was he talking to school children? I don't know. So I thought, I'd keep in the tradition of, school assemblies and said, put it out to the Ipswich Town community, should we give them a certificate for taking part? And the because it's got history. And the overall consensus was that we should do. So here it is.
Drum roll,
Here we go, look. Certificate of participation for Norwich City. It says here, for putting in an amazing effort after 3 months off against Man United reserves in the FA Cup 6 round. It's not the quarter-final, lads. It's the FA Cup 6 round. There we go. Now, hopefully, I will send this off, and I hope they can find a nice place for it in their trophy cabinet / trophy shelf. I'm hoping it will take pride of place against the Mr. Clutch Cup that Mike Bassett won for them before he became England manager.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to hand deliver that for you. I'm going to knock on the front door at Carrow Road and I'm going to say, Miss Delia Smith, special recorded delivery.
I should point out to anybody who's listening, not watching on YouTube, anyone who's listening, I've printed this in black and white. We don't crack open the colour ink for the canaries. So we've just done it in black and white for the lads. But there it is. So another one for them there. Fantastic.
Best thing I've ever seen.
That got
so easy, weren't they, Matt?
Yeah. Well, you saw it, Rich, didn't you? Luckily, you were my white knight. You came in and helped me. But there was pelters.
What was the best tweet you saw, Matt, in reply to you?
Well, where do we start? I mean, I like this one that was directed at me and Rich, because Rich said, FA Cup, Milk Cup, I'm not having that.
Not counting
John
that.
Holland at John of Oak Tree. It's a nice little country name, isn't it? League Cup 1985. We played at Wembley. 100,000 there. Millions watching on TV. I can't see the difference between that and the FA Cup, to be honest, other than there's about 700 teams enter the FA Cup and 92 in the League Cup. I can't say winning the third-tier European trophy when major clubs didn't take it seriously. Your achievement was qualifying for it so regularly. And I'll just tell you now that when we won the UEFA Cup in 1981, participants in that competition included Barcelona, Juventus, PSV, Porto, Anderlecht, Man United, Dynamo Kiev.
Where's this myth come from that clubs enter a competition in any decade, any year, and don't take it seriously?
I know. And it wasn't, and as we know, it wasn't a third-tier trophy back then, was it?
No.
You finished second in your league. You were straight into that competition.
There was no
So that was a good
Europa
one.
League 2, was there?
No, exactly. This was a good one. John Struhl, I think we at least deserve a star on our shirts. Oh, hang on, we're not insecure and crass like you.
It's got a dating profile.
This was a good. This was a nice one from Ivy, NCFC. Shall we give you a certificate for technically insolvent mid-table League One club?
It's factually true.
Trevor Hockey's beard. Let them have their moment. Their local derby will be Kingsley in a couple of seasons.
I don't like the factual ones. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
They're not as funny.
This one I agree. This one I agreed with. Imagine begging the EFL to let anyone participate in the playoffs because you can't even make the top 10, let alone the top 6. Truly pitiful. I agree with that one.
But that was overhyped. We never begged everybody to take part. Otherwise, the rest of the league are all scaredy cats who said no.
Yeah. This was a good. You'll enjoy. The pair of you will enjoy this one. Have they given him a blue tick on his Twitter for being the best Mr. Bean lookalike? Mr. Bean wear glasses. And the final one here. The final one here. I'm not including any that had swearings. That's gone.
These are the clean ones, aren't
they? Yeah. This is a fantasy.
Use Virgin.
100 goals, 100 points, finish 11th, and then try to convince the EFL to allow you into the playoffs. As for the FA Cup, you didn't reach the third round, can't feel your ground, living on Grandad's black and white Betamax. I was never Betamax, sorry, mate. So there you go. There's like a little snapshot of my Saturday night.
Well, did they know that only a few days later, we would have groundbreaking news. We would be re-signing a future club legend to a 4-year contract. Mr. Luke Woolfenden, of course, signing now the longest contracted player at Ipswich Town. Groundbreaking news, obviously, something that Norwich didn't, most fans there didn't see coming. It's turned the footballing world upside down and catapulted Evans into hero-like status in 24 hours. But let's focus first on Luke Woolfenden. How do you feel following the news there, Rich, that Luke has signed a 4-year deal?
I think we're all getting a little bit carried away because he still had 2 years to run on his deal anyway. It's given us a bit more security, yeah. 4 years with an extra year option. What did they say? 4 more years on the official Twitter page. Is it going to be 4 more years of Luke Woolfenden at Ipswich Town?
No.
I very much doubt it. We don't know. There might be a clause in there, certain amount gets bid. But I would say, personally, I think he needs another season. I don't think he's ready, unlike Flynn Downs, who I think is. Woolfenden's a very good player. When we sell him, because we all know we will sell him, let's sell him for the maximum value that he's worth, unlike Adam Webster. Don't give him away. And then within the next year, his price has gone up, 3 million, and then it was 25 million. Look, we all know he's going to go. Let's not sit here and beat the drum and say he's going to be a future captain, he's going to lead us to the Premier League. Luke Woolfenden is a very good player at League One level. Let's not get too carried away. He's not achieved anything in the game yet. He's a good player. I'm happy that he's signed, but I think we all need to just calm down a little bit and say we all know what happens in the end with Marcus Evans, because we do. Let's not be fooled.
I think it's great news. I mean, it's funny how he's progressed in the last 2 years. He was at Bromley in about 2018, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, Rich is right. Will we get more than one season out of Woolfenden? Highly unlikely. If someone comes along and slaps down 3-4 million on the table for him before even the season starts, he's going to be gone. Ditto Flynn Downs. Everyone's a selling club. Ronaldo left Man United, for crying out loud. to go to Real Madrid. If someone puts down a decent offer for him, he'll be gone. 4 years, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. He'll be gone. So I think the most we can expect, so we don't get everyone's hopes up, the most we can expect is probably a season out of him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think I was saying to somebody yesterday, I think actually, regardless of whether we win promotion in the coming season or not, I believe Luke Woolfenden won't be a Town player, just because I still think Ipswich Town winning promotion doesn't mean Marcus Evans suddenly doesn't turn down money offers for anybody. He didn't do it when we were 14th in the Championship. He didn't do it when we were 8th in the Championship. Why would he do it just because we won promotion back to the Championship? I didn't like today, I'm going to be honest, Leo Neal coming out. Why can we not have a positive press conference from Portman Road? Why can we not say, you know what, we've signed this player to a new deal. It shows Marcus this or that. We've got ambition. We've got determination. We're righting the wrongs. We all know he'll sell should he have to. But why have you got to say in every press conference, if a bid comes in, of course, we'll have to look at it. We all know that. Just be positive for once and run with positivity. Don't always play down and bring it back down to little old us.
He's telling us the real story, really, isn't he? Because there's going to be bids.
Of course there is.
There's going to be a bid for Downs, isn't there? I don't know who would bid for Downs. I don't know. Maybe Brentford, if they got promoted, maybe. Maybe high-end Championship, I don't know. There's going to be bids. There's always going to be bids.
Can Woolfenden go? Because he's not a Webster-type defender, though, is he?
No, he's not.
So is he a Premier League defender?
No, not at the moment.
I mean, at any point. Because he's not a ball player.
Has he had 50 club appearances for Ipswich and Swindon, probably combined?
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, he played 36 games this year, so yeah, probably.
Don't forget Bromley.
Lambert said last season he was a £10 million player, didn't he?
He's about 90 grand on transfer market website. I looked it up earlier.
I asked the question.
That's what we'd sell him for.
I asked the question because I don't know if he's good enough for. At any point, is he suddenly going to find a range of passing? I mean, David Luiz, for example, we slate the life out of him, and he's a finished article coming to the end of his career, whatever article that may be finishing of. But that pass last night for Arsenal is exactly what every club in the Premier League want from their centre halves, a la Webster. Is Woolfenden ever going to find that in the locker, or is he a no-nonsense bit more of a better centre half than Chambers?
I don't think we've really seen enough of him to say that. I think, like I said, I don't think he's not ready for the Championship. He needs another full season in League One, playing week in, week out, and let's see what he can do. Getting back to Leo Neal, he's bigging up. Yeah, Luke Woolfenden signed, Dobra signed. The academy's that great. If the academy we've got is that great at the minute, we should be using it more. We've got all these good kids coming through, and we're obviously, this is what we're going to have to use the next few years, because we all know at least probably one player a season we're going to have to sell. So if you really believe in that academy, get them players in the first team. I'm not saying a full 11, but if we've got outstanding kids, like we're told every time, when one of them signs, let's believe in them. Let's put them in the team. But then we could go back to the manager. Is he the right manager to bring them through? Because he said that last year. We spoke about it last week on the pod. Bringing young players in, giving them a chance. And like Matt said, it was a myth, because the leasings.com is where you had about 7 of them made their debut.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Alex Henderson, I see him at Peterborough that night. I thought he's really impressive. He's going to the States. So
it's quite telling that, isn't it? Yeah, I was thinking that. Yeah.
That was because of the club's contract offer, or lack of, wasn't it? They were offering another year's scholarship, and he was offered a better situation in the States. And reading between the lines, it's something he's always wanted to do.
Yeah, fair play.
And you can't blame the lad, because you go over there. It's not going over there isn't a career killer anymore, is it? It's seen. It's look at Smith, for example. You used to go over there in your late 30s and never be seen again, right? Now it's just like going abroad to Spain or Belgium or France.
He could do all right over there and come back to Ipswich. You never know what the future might bring.
He certainly could. And Richard's point there, I think, Matt, is very true. And doesn't that kind of feed into the should we have given someone such as Cole Scowles a new deal when we are looking to bring those academy players through? Surely there's a young guy, Brett McGavin, maybe Andre Dozell. They can job share those, especially with MSU still under contract for another 12 months.
I think you need. I've seen a few people being critical about Scowles getting another deal, but you'd presume it was on reduced terms. But I still think you probably need Scowles and Chambers and the like around the place, really, just to I don't know, just to bring those kids through, to bring Brett McGavin through, because I would say his style of play is very similar to Scowles. So you maybe want him to be some kind of mentor character. We know Chambers is that already. He has some of the kids living in an annex of his house to help them feel welcomed into the club. Brilliant. I'm in two minds about Scowles and Chambers. I do blame them a little bit for the relegation and that.
You do?
Yeah, because when you read McGoldrick, what he said when he went to Sheffield United and said, there was no pressure to win at Ipswich. Well, Scowles, McGoldrick, yeah, Chambers. Chambers gives it the big one to the fans, okay? And I like all those players. But I feel like in the dressing room, they should have been putting that pressure on people to get those 3 points. So I think the buck stops at them a little bit. Scowles and Chambers are like a couple of old coats I don't want to chuck out of the closet when I'm sort of having to take stuff down to the rubbish tip. I want to keep them around just in case I wear them again. I like having them around. But, you need those experienced heads to bring
it's
players.
It's right what you say, Martin. Look, there's going to be how many players available this summer, experienced players. They've been at the club a long time. They're used to failure. We've failed with them. We've failed with them. I'm not saying they've been good servants. They have been good servants, but sooner or later you have to say, look, thanks very much. We're going to move in a different direction. If you have to replace them with a couple experienced players, do that. It wouldn't worry me if you sign players maybe a year or two younger than them, but someone who's experienced, and it's a different voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're used to, they're probably quite big personalities, I'd thought, in the dressing room. Are they too big, But then, like you've just said, Chambers gives it the big one, being he's not that big in the dressing room, is he? If they're used to just trotting along, and then we heard when Bart went, basically we'd given up in October, haven't we? Chambers is the captain, Scowles is your experienced player. They should be getting hold of these kids and that and saying, come on, look, we're bottom of the league. Let's do something. Oh no, we put the white flag up.
Yeah, and those two are really close as well, aren't they? They live very close to each other. So I just wonder if they kind of rule the dressing room a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we just need to break that up a little bit.
Without a doubt, they do. Whenever I've seen the players interacting as a squad, whenever that has happened to be, Milsom's, except places like that, you always tell Chamber is the alpha male. They all look to him. All the young kids especially look to him and adore him. I just feel, just touching on a couple of your points there, the pair of you, that maybe overall it is it's a simpler case of the club say we're going with a 5-point plan, we're going with younger players, but then they go and get an experienced, tried and tested manager. Then they go and get experienced, tried and tested players. Isn't it a simple case of what we were saying previously on the radio, Rich? There's no plan. There's no direction. And maybe our next appointment when it comes to needs to be a younger manager who's going to trust in younger players.
But then you could say that with Hurst. We went for a younger manager, and obviously he didn't help himself after the Exeter game. Coming out, he tried to change, like I said last week, would we have been any worse off with him still as manager? Probably not. He tried to change too much too soon, and then you're probably getting the older players who run the dressing room. They're thinking, I'm not going to listen to him,
Yeah.
So sooner or later, you need to clear them older players out and say, thanks very much, but we're going to go in a different direction. And if it is with younger players, we've still got some other experienced players at the club, surely. Like Emmet Hughes, he's not. He should be stepping up next season. John Nolan, I know. He should be. He should be good enough for that division. Look, when he was at Shrewsbury, he was one of the best players in the league. Yeah. What happens when they come to Ipswich? They put that shirt on, they shrink.
They get into a comfort zone, don't they? I've made it now. I think Hurst almost certainly was probably had rivals in Scowles and Chambers.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to tear it up too much and they didn't want it.
and maybe being closer in age was a thing, because you can look at somebody when they're closer in age to you and go, who is this guy?
I'd like to see Ipswich sign a couple of these like League One, League Two style enforcers you get in midfield. I was watching that Northampton Exeter game. Yeah, the Northampton Exeter game the other night. Alan McCormack, who used to be at like Southend and Brentford. He sticks his foot in. If you lost Flynn Downs, you could have someone of that ilk like an Alan McCormack, who's been around the lower leagues.
Definitely.
And just knows where to put the foot in, and he knows the game at that tier, that third tier. He knows the game there. So if you did lose Downs, for example, bring someone in, one of them wily veterans in who knows League One.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah. But I think they're taking a penny.
I'd say even if we lost Downs, we should have. We're stacked with midfielders, aren't we?
Yeah.
We should have. You'd think we'd have enough there. Obviously, last season we didn't know which would probably our best combination. We could go through this again, couldn't we? Rotation. It's got to stop next season. You've got to get your team, stick to it. And I was reading today about there's an article on Will Norris. Now, really, why did we need to sign? We just signed Thomas Holy. Why do we need to sign another goalie to vie for the number one position? We're in League One, you know. Surely you should put them wages or whatever in another part of the team where you really need it. We had Harry Wright. We've got Prize Beck. I see him at Peterborough. For me,
he's good.
Yeah, they're decent. They could do a number two. You need a number two. Happy to sit on the bench every week. Might play the odd game here and there, you know, if there's an injury crisis. And even if you had the goalie gets a long-term injury, you could easily pick up another experienced goalkeeper. You know, you don't want to be getting into another situation like last season where he'd play a few games, then he was out, then you'd play Norris. No good. It all has to stop. There was a
conversation. Yeah, 100%. There was a conversation on Twitter today about Holy. And I know a lot of people that watch League One and League Two, they couldn't believe we signed Holy. They messaged me and said, he can't kick. He's like too tall. He's a bit of a laughable figure in League One. And I was like, well, I think he's going to be backup. I think he's going to be the number one keeper. So maybe they just took an opportunity to get him in because his contract was gone. I'm pretty certain he wasn't meant to be the number one keeper. Maybe the plan was always to get a lone keeper from the Premier League. League 1, 2 teams do that, don't they?
It was.
Even
when Holy arrived and Bart was with Willie Won't-he, it was always spoken about that they were looking to replace Bart with a more proven number one.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether you'd call Norris a more proven number one outside the statistic of Premier League loanee, but they were always talking about Holy as if he was a bit like Jordan Roberts, but in goal, a project, somebody who they could develop, somebody who had raw potential. And speaking of, to Holy and having Holy speak through the season, you hear they had one afternoon a week at Gillingham goalkeeper training. So, Walker would know that, being in League One and knowing other coaches. Yeah. So maybe they looked at him with this. He's got size. He's got potential. I just think he's another one of these players in the same vein as Chambers, and maybe one of you two or both of you will tell me your opinions on it, that if social media didn't exist, there wouldn't be half the loving for these players as they get.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He's passionate, isn't he? But we could all be passionate. Us three are passionate about Ipswich Town. It don't mean we should be in the starting 11 every week, does it? I was just going back to Norris. I was reading that it was when they signed him on loan. It was like with a view to signing him permanently for when we got promotion. But there we go. We're getting ahead of ourselves, aren't we? We're thinking we're only going to be in there for one season. It's a tour, and then. But yeah, social media. And I don't think Chambers is. I don't think he's on there, is he? But he just goes around beating his chest and giving it the fist pump when we win.
Here's a sliding doors moment for you. So go back to the start of last season, Burton Ipswich. Remember that where Holy buggered about with the ball on the edge of the box and it took a deflection and went wide by about 2 millimetres. Imagine if that had gone in.
Yeah. Oh, different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Different kettle of fish altogether.
You're right, Rich,
Yeah, Rich is right on terms of they go on social media, I love the fans, love all that. I don't want to hear that. Just get the club promoted.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Obviously, even with Chambers not on social media, as Rich alludes to, there's still the club media these days. Whereas back in 2000, when the legends became legends, and rightfully so they became legends, but Captain Holland was famous for his play, not for his fist pump, not for his ask you segment. None of this
continuous matches. Was it 200 plus or something?
Emmanuel Thetis had some brilliant moments and some catastrophic moments. But he didn't come out after the game on social media and say, "Oh, I love the club. I love being here," which immediately would have won the fan base over. So I think
easily appeases people, isn't it?
Yeah, and we get people writing.
Easy.
Yeah, absolutely. So the
mindset of Ipswich has to change next season. Has to change. Has to get back. And I like how we'll probably come to this in a minute, but the new kit, how they've revisited the past. Get into that mindset. That was a winning team. That 81 team was a winning team with a winning manager. That's why we're still talking about them 40 years later. Win League One. Ipswich Town are in League One. Don't worry about what the opposition are going to do. Don't worry about what bloody Rochdale are going to do. We are Ipswich Town. We are town, as the hashtag says.
Absolutely.
You don't see Barcelona in the Nou Camp worrying about what bloody Celta Vigo are going to do. They play their game. We need to get into that kind of mindset. That's what I want to see next season.
You're absolutely
That's
spot on.
my mindset.
You're spot on. And I had the conversation with somebody on Twitter, very, very similar, who was tweeting, there's some big clubs coming down next season. And I was saying, don't care. We're Ipswich Town Football Club. I'm not having this whole championship revisited where it's getting harder every year and we can't compete and all this. We're Ipswich Town Football Club in the third tier. Bring them all down here. We're going to beat them.
But we know, Will, you know, and I know you'll get that. Lee O'Neill will come out. They'll say that. If you're saying the mentality, we could go back to Chambers and Scowles. They're used to failure.
Yeah.
That's why they should go.
Yeah, and as fans, we've got to change that, And as provided my players don't break the law off the field, I can give a monkey's arse what they do off it. It's what they do on the grass I really care about. Provided they're not, always in the press, stumbling out of nightclubs, they could do what they like off the field, be as arseholey as they want.
Yeah, performances that we saw against like Accrington and Burton at home, those I think they were both 4-1, weren't they? They're the kind of performances I'm expecting in this division. They're going to win every game, I get that, but we should be well and truly above a lot of these clubs.
Absolutely.
So to round up, Fleetwood coming down and beating us 1-0, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Mentioned Joey Barton there because he's a sort of player we've always cried out for, but I can never imagine the vast majority of Town fans accepting. They struggle to sort
manager, I don't give the manager, Barton.
So less than a minute. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? We've signed Woolfenden to a 4-year deal. I know the answer already, but
it's a good thing. Yeah, 100%. It's a good thing.
Up next is kit. Right, when time gets to you and you panic. That last question was a panicked question. That was not what I wanted to ask at all. But I saw the time go to less than a minute, and I just
do it again if you want.
I did a Dean Gherkin in the 18-yard in the 6-yard box. I panicked. But anyway, moving on to the kit. Matt's had his fun on Twitter recently, and Rich has been fraternising with the enemy. I see, commending other podcasts on their kit reviews. I nearly choked on my morning cornflakes when I read those. You've obviously seen how a certain podcast does it, so you'll be an expert in this next segment. Talk us through the new kit.
I think it's a very good kit. The only thing missing for me is the pinstripes. I would have added them. I think, like I tweeted, I think it was in May, about the old school badge. They should get back to that. So I like that, even though it's only going to be for one season.
Have they said that, have they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah, it's just on the home kit. It's not going to be on the away kit. It's going to be the original badge on that. But I like the sponsor. We've got rid of that horrible magical Vegas. We've got a good sponsor. It's a winner. I bought 3 already. I'm looking forward to getting me 3 postcards as well. Happy days.
Luxury postcards, Matt.
I've purchased my first shirt for a while as well. I bought it as well.
You haven't.
I have.
Just
I'm a sucker
then.
for the old badge. I'm a sucker for it.
I know Martin's not very happy on the price of it.
It's a bit lumpy.
48.
No. You could go for the custom shirt for 60.
I've done 48.
That puts my Primark wardrobe to shame, guys. Come on. Come on.
It's a great looking. I think it's a great looking kit. I like the all blue. people forget that in our UEFA Cup run, we wore blue for a lot of the away games. St Etienne, Cologne, AZ in the final. We were all blue for that. So that's a nice little touch, I think. And Ipswich have won all blue previously. But not for many seasons, but we have done it before.
I've been domesticated. That's my problem, you see. I've been domesticated. I see all blue as a fashion crime. You know, I can just hear my wife's voice in my head say, "You ain't wearing that with that."
Yeah, or double denim.
Yeah, I mean, 12 years ago, I'd wear big flowery shorts with a fluorescent green T-shirt. I had no... Steady now, boys, in this next comment. I had no fashion sense. But
now he's got one of them on him.
Yes, yeah. Yes, there, look, right there. I asked her, "What am I wearing today, darling?" She would never in a million years say blue on blue. So when I saw that, I was like, "Well, that's me immediately out of the running." And then she said, "Well, you wouldn't buy the shorts anyway," which is a fair point. It's a fair point.
I like the shorts. I agree with Matt. It's only for a season.
Yeah,
let's scare it. It's not going to be every season. So as a one-off, I think we can put up with that.
Absolutely.
Did you like Rich? Did you like the promo video?
Now, come on. You know what my answer was going to be there because
Richard Mills Chambers.
No.
Excuse Burley.
Why does no one ever mention Russell Osman? No one ever mentions Russell.
That's over Mings, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Look, I liked the video. It was good with the old footage, but they spoiled it, didn't they? Put in them. Whoever thought that was a good idea? You know, they shouldn't really be in the same breath, should they?
No.
They're trying to align the current team with the legends, aren't they? That's what they were trying to do. But yeah, it does. We are town.
But wouldn't it have been a better idea, guys, to welcome the old back and linking it back in with we are new hungry town? So Dozel, Woolfenden, especially if they, you know, if one hand can talk to the other hand and say, "Hey guys, we're working out a contract deal here. So, you know, with that news hopefully coming out soon itself, you can include him in this." If you had young players in that list, so, you know, your Burley, your Beattie, etc., then maybe fans would have taken it a lot better than hearing tired old Chambers and Scowles.
Maybe. I just wonder if there hadn't been the COVID restrictions and all that. I wonder if they'd have actually had some of those older players actually physically in the video as they are now. So you might have had Franz Tyson, Muren.
Reliving the moment.
Yeah. Maybe. I did like it. I'm a sucker for those things. I was in We Are Town. I was on the hashtag.
Watch it on mute. Perfectly fine.
Like I said, we can all be a lot of negativity at the minute, but I think we've got to applaud them. You know, it's a decent shirt. It's a decent video. Yeah, maybe they shouldn't have, but
they got to go with something.
Yeah, I think we're all too quick to jump on the bandwagon nowadays and criticise everything. So yeah, it's a decent shirt. I'd give it probably 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I love the badge. I love the badge.
I'll give it more. I'm giving it 8.5. I like it.
I tell you what, my favourite bit of it was it's the quote.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly nice touch. Quite unique. You don't see it very often.
No, my perfect jigsaw.
Yeah, and I just think that for me trumped the whole lot of it, because up until that point, as a 30-year-old man who, you know, and Norwich often criticises for not knowing about or not having seen our past, it was a good era. It's a nice shirt, but that really put it over the edge. I think Rich is right. Pinstripes, you know, would have been.
That's the only real thing I would say. I want to say, so Katie Ling, right? She tweeted Planet Blue about women's sizes. I don't know if they got back to her, but I agree, because look, we're not all got six packs like Martin, have we? And we're looking good in a shirt, and they're a bit ill-fitting on some. So I agree with, like, they used to have lady sizes. We've got a lot of lady fans, haven't we? Why? Yeah. I'll tell you what I like, when they used to have the long sleeve. You could buy the long sleeve shirts.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Obviously, they probably think
absolutely.
that they wouldn't sell enough. I don't know. Maybe.
That would sell. The last
Yeah.
person I can remember sporting long sleeves in an Ipswich shirt is Brett Pittman. Always rocking that look, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Did
Yeah,
you
that
just
would look
ask for
good.
long sleeves, Rich?
Hey,
Did you just ask for long sleeves?
I'd love a long sleeve.
You'll be asking people to sit down at away games next.
West Ham do long sleeve shirt for their fans. My brother-in-law's got West Ham shirt, long sleeves.
We are in League One, aren't we?
Yeah. They can't afford the material.
When we get to the Premier League, when we're there.
So what's the away kit going to be then? Next week, isn't it?
Well, I've
What's that going to look like?
I voted today. I voted for pink.
So you can vote for what the colour you want. Is this what's happening?
East Anglian. Oh, you can go to East Anglian. They've got a vote of the colour, and then you can vote what style, like check, half and half, hoops, stripes.
Pink's cool.
But it's not an actual vote, is it? It's an opinion poll. Just to clarify, it's not a actual.
Definitely.
So the shirt actually exists. We just don't know what it looks like yet.
They have said it's going to be something we've never had before.
Yeah.
So
a decent team in it.
A bit too much to ask for. Let's not get carried away.
I mean, that's what I really want. If you get, they could play in naked suits, as far as I'm concerned. give me somebody to sit the ball in there.
You'll always remember, won't you? You'll always remember the decent teams from what the kit that they wore. You'll know that was a decent side, and then you'll think, oh, that was that shirt. Whereas when you finish 11th in League One last season, it might have been the shirt wasn't bad, was it? But
absolutely. And here was my next question: out of our kits over the years, what are your top one or two selections?
How far back are we going?
As far back as you want to go. As I was looking through my wardrobe, okay.
That was cool, that one.
Yeah. But is there another one?
I liked the away kit that we wore in that Everton FA Cup game, 85, 86, with the red stripe and the free blue, but in white. So it was white with the red and the blue. That was cool. With blue shorts. Well. I mean, we got relegated in those strips, but it was based on the French kit, wasn't it? It was based on that French 84 Euro
Platini
team, yeah. So that was a cool kit.
Yeah. How about the green and maroon?
Awful.
I liked that.
I remember that.
The Mickey Stockwell red and black combo, that was cool when he scored against Wimbledon, done the Maradona goal. That was a cool strip.
I like an orange one. I like the 90 Bison's one, 91-92, when we. See, there you go. There's another one.
Neil Thompson at Southend. Yeah, that was cool.
There's another one. We remember it because we were a decent side.
Yeah. Marcus Stewart against Bolton away at the Reebok.
If it's not a good side, it's good moments, right? Or not, or just moments in general. For me, my favourite shirt of all time, is the blue fade to white. That was very popular in general
the bleach
fashion.
One.
Yeah, and I can still see Matthew with his collar up.
95, 96.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I can still see Sedgley in the post.
No. It's the one. No, it's the air kick one. The air kick, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
But
I can still see all those iconic moments of the 90s in that shirt.
Was that Core who made that?
I think it was, yeah.
I believe
it might be. Yeah, good shirt.
And then it went to Punch, didn't it, afterwards?
Punch.
They made some good kits.
Yeah.
Mitre,
not so much. Didn't really like Mitre stuff. I like Adidas. I'll admit I like Adidas stuff. I like the stripes.
I tell you what I'm liking at the moment. Hummel with Coventry.
Coventry's away kit. Two-tone. Great kit. Yeah.
I like to see Town in Hummel. Do you remember like Villa used to wear it? Denmark at the '86 World Cup. It was always like a two-tony red or cool kits.
I'll tell you a team you won't expect to be wearing Hummel next year that will be. St Albans. They will be. They've announced today. Hummel will kit them out for the following year.
Is that your non-league team then?
Yeah. Well, not my long. No, mine's Hemel Hempstead. but St Albans, I follow a little bit because I used to cover them. But yeah, so
we're now waiting for Lecoq Sportif to make a comeback, and then you've got some 80s retro going on, haven't you? Sports chicken.
Of which, have any of us here ever thought about framing a shirt? I've thought about it. I've got a few upstairs I want to frame because they've got signatures on. Have any of us here? I know Rich will be really clued up on this subject, but have we thought about?
I've got an Essex Eagles 2020 last year, I won a signed shirt. It's in the cupboard waiting to be framed, but I probably won't be able to put it up anyway, will I? Maybe in the toilet.
yeah.
That's the trouble. I'd like to get some framed, but where am I allowed to put them up?
Exactly.
It's that ring, mate.
Nowhere. I'm not allowed, am I?
Yeah. The thumb is back.
Take that
Exactly.
cocktail picture down, mate, and put it there.
Yeah. Great show.
Good idea.
There's a space
I'll
for
ask her when I get off. I'll go and say, Martin
I'll ask her
said-
live on air. So to round up, Marcus Evans, we've had some murmurs on Twitter recently about how he's gone from zero to hero in the space of 24 hours. Where do both of you sit on this particular topic? Obviously, Woolfenden signed a new deal. We covered that earlier. Does that make him a good owner? Does that give him a new light? Where do we sit on that one, guys?
I've said before now, I've said better the devil you know, but I'm still in two minds on this, to be honest with you. In fact, he signed Luke Woolfenden to a new deal. I don't know. Not for me. I mean, we'll have to wait and see whether or not he's got money. What I want to know is there going to be money to spend?
No.
Before the new season. That's
I
what
can tell you
want
that
to
now.
Because there's money to spend at Peterborough.
Wait, it's Marcus. No.
I mean, we were talking about sell a player a season earlier, weren't we? Sell a player a season.
Yeah.
Peterborough have that model perfectly. I think their scouting is fantastic.
I see today.
I can't understand why. Call me a snob here, call me arrogant, or whatever. I can't understand why you would, as a footballer, you would choose to go to Peterborough over Ipswich Town. Considering we're in this East Anglian style region, if you've got them two clubs competing for you, I've got to take my hat off to Peterborough. They've brought in some fantastic players. Marcus Madison have discovered, Dwight Dow, Ivan Toney. Really good players. George Boyd over the years. Scouting's fantastic. With that Barry Fry, I don't know.
I'd go higher up. I'd go Brentford. Look at Brentford. They've been their academy off. That's gone. So, but they'll always sell some players, but they always manage. Brentford. They're not a bigger club than Ipswich Town, are they? Look, we're not being snobs here. We're not.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you. Well, they could be a Premier League team, couldn't they? But
they could be.
I think they used to, when we were Premier League and flying around the top of the Championship and they were League One, I think they looked at us as a kind of a model. Now we're looking at them to be the model. That's role reversal.
The key word there is model. The key word there is model. They are two clubs that have really embraced modern football. Peterborough have an account, you can find it on Twitter, called Blades Analytica. He runs Analytica company who find them players such as the guy who was at Barnet last season. And Brentford have today advertised for a new statistician, somebody who was going to drive their recruitment, all based off analytics. It's not based off what you can see with your eyes necessarily, but it's based off those things that McCarthy used to say Jonathan Douglas was good for, running and and all those type of elements. And obviously there's a lot more to it than that. But it's that, isn't it? Peterborough are fishing in the pond of this player is excelling in this and this. He's on an upward trend, whereas we're still very much looking at Will Keane and thinking he used to be this and this. Maybe if he can stay fit, he might be again. It's different.
Yeah, I can surprise him if we re-signed him.
We will do.
We will do. I can see the thinking behind that, because Mike Phelan spent £1 million to take him to Hull when he was manager there. So I can see the thinking behind it, but it's also old school thinking, isn't it? If you look at a team like Seville in Spain, the manager, he tells his technical team the kind of player he needs. I need a left winger, good on his left foot, can take free kicks, can take corners, shoots from distance. That technical team then go out and scout round the globe, bring back the names and say, what do you think of these?
Yeah.
I think it's probably Lambert and McCarthy were going, oh, actually, I like the look at that play. Let's speak. It just seems a little bit old school to me.
Look, when we got, do you remember Vlado Bozanovsky come? We signed him, and we signed another guy. He was by the name of Mauricio Tarico. No one had ever heard of him. What a fantastic player he was. We were obviously looking there, weren't we?
Yeah.
But Tarico was the make way, wasn't he? He was the one that he was
Yeah, he was.
signed to keep the other guy happy.
Yeah.
Actually, he was the better player.
That must have been a lucky accident, I think. Again, with like, do you remember Chiavelli?
Yeah.
Where we signed? Did we sign him from Argentina?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not looking at those players now, are we? So I just think we probably need to modernise it a little bit. Maybe get rid of Dave Bowman and just change the model up. Someone said on Twitter he's on gardening leave anyway.
Yeah, the whole model is it.
It needs a big shake-up. It needs a big shake-up, doesn't it?
It does.
And when, like I said last week, when we've got a PE teacher, coming out, says it all for me. We're not going to improve with people like that. Look, Lee O'Neill might be a really nice guy, but no.
But if you look
Evans, not for me.
And I don't mean any disrespect to anybody else when I really say this, but if you actually look at the club website and you drilled into recruitment, we're fishing in the pool of just qualified from the Suffolk University, and no disrespect to anybody that goes there. If you're coming to Ipswich Town at League One level, I want you to have a little bit more of a CV than, maybe car salesman part-time at my dad's firm, study at the University of Suffolk campus, work for Ipswich Town, because that's. I'm sure Brentford haven't got that in their recruitment department. They're recruiting guys who have got proven records of finding players and making it happen. It's all down to money again. It's money. Lambert O'Neill find the list, get the budget, and after the list go straight away.
Leicester found Mahrez playing in the French second division. These gems are out there. We need to start fishing in this. We need to be fishing in the same pool as Peterborough at the moment and going head to head with them. And if they choose Peterborough over us, then fair play. But
Darren McAntony, he gets a lot of bad press. I'd love someone like him.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy. He seems all right to me. Yeah, I like what they're doing at Peterborough. I like what they're doing.
But it's also a plan A and a plan B. We've recently had Steve Evans come out and say how Ipswich signing Caden Jackson helped Peterborough sign Ivan Toney. They were after Jackson. We gazumped them with a higher bid. So they went to Ivan Toney. Ipswich Town never seemed to have that plan B ready to go. They always seem to go, plan A's gone. I don't know what we're going to do now. Whereas Peterborough, they've obviously got a list of realistic targets that they've really done their homework for.
Yeah.
But bringing it back down to Evans, are you in the camp of thank the Lord we've got Evans? He's a great owner. He's investing in the club by giving these players new contracts. Or are you in the camp of a player getting a new deal at a football club is nothing new and nothing that isn't expected?
It's like someone said on Twitter, he must be getting a pay rise. How do we know that? He might be on the same money. He's only a young lad, and he's not going to be on 20 grand a week. Well done, Marcus. You've given someone a rise in these hard times. Yeah, you've kept your player, but like Matt said, we want to see, is there money to invest in the team? We're just keeping who we've got at the minute. Go back to the point. In the end, they get sold. The money, where does that money go?
Yeah, exactly. Peterborough find the money for players. Portsmouth have found money for players. I'm probably would put a third option in about Evans and probably say he's treading water at the moment a little bit, because his goal was to take us into the Premier League and he's actually taken us into League One. So you have to wonder what his motivation is at the moment. Maybe it's just like, I'm stuck with this at the moment. I'll just try and get him back into the Championship and then play my cards there. I don't know. I think it was interesting this week that Wigan are now facing administration. Paul Cook would be a great manager for Ipswich Town, I think. Because if you look at where Wigan are at the moment, they're on 50 points already in the Championship. So they're going to lose their 12 points, whatever happens. So they'll go down to 38. So they're going to the bottom three. But that team was struggling massively with us last season. And now they're mid-table. He was really good at Portsmouth, had an almost 50% win record there, playing good football. And remember, they beat us in the FA Cup under him 2-3 seasons back. Yeah. I think he'd be a really good manager for Ipswich. Maybe he'll become available once if we can go into administration. I don't know. But, they're the kind of things we should be, everyone should be looking at, in my opinion. Because the heat is off Lambert at the moment because of coronavirus. But it was all turning, wasn't it? With all those defeats, things were turning, and then that has kind of bought him some time. But if we start the new season off badly, it will all come back again, 100%.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
And we will be watching on Talking Town.
We certainly will be. All three of you. We will be here keeping the club's feet to the fire. I don't know if Woolfenden had a pay rise, but I would certainly be surprised if agent and club haven't come to some sort of arrangement in
I
regards
think
to.
you'd have a little bit of a pay rise, wouldn't you? You'd imagine so.
You'd imagine so, but more so a golden handshake of, once a bid has come in for evaluation, we've already agreed between the three of us, he'll be off.
He'd have been on small wages, wouldn't he? Because he was at Bromley, like we said earlier. He was at Bromley
he's not
2
gonna
years
be on
ago.
big
Well,
money, is he?
they ain't paying his wages, are they? We're paying his wages while he gets experience. So you've got to think that he wasn't on the huge.
But any type of pay rise is still not going to be Lionel Messi money, even for League One level. And I mean that in regards of even someone like Tyven Tony, he's probably earning, twice, 3 times as much as I would average, I guess, as Luke Woolfenden.
I love the story Mark Heath had on East Anglian Daily Times where they said Barry Fry's turned down a bid from New York Red Bulls for Ivan Toney. I'd have been fuming if I was Ivan Toney. I've got to stay in Peterborough. I want to go to the Big Apple.
Yeah, wow.
Not at the minute.
4 million quid or something.
Yeah, not at a minute.
Sorry, Ivan, you're staying in Peterborough.
So, who's leading us out, gents? Who is going to lead us out?
Before we go, I just want to flag something up with you very quickly. A book I bought a little while ago called Frozen in Time by Stephen Scragg, guy I follow on Twitter, he follows me, all about the Cup Winners' Cup. He's bringing out a new book later this year called Where the Cool Kids Hung Out, the Chic Years of the UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
And look who's on the front. Look, Franz Tyson. Have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. You can pre-order it. You can pre-order it on Amazon. So it's going to be a decent read.
Weren't you? You were dangling
yeah. Sorry, Stephen. It's still in black and white, mate. I would have brought the colour out for you, buddy. But I think that's going to be a great read. If the Cup Winners' Cup book's anything like it, this would buy it.
How much do we get in the club kitty for that plug?
Maybe we'll get free ones.
They don't give nothing away. Well, yeah, only little postcards.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the postcards, to be fair.
Yeah, luxury ones. Get them in a frame.
Yeah. Get them on the back wall there. Happy days.
Listen to you two. Yeah. Next time we want that down, mate. We want to see it.
Still be there.
Brilliant. Right. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. It's been a very, very enjoyable evening. I'm terribly sorry that I delayed you both. With my microphone issues, giving it the evil look there.
Good.
And
it's a good microphone.
Yeah, well, yeah. But anyway, until next time, who wants to say sayonara to our lovely listeners and viewers?
Go on, Matt.
Participants, put it next to the Mr. Clutch Cup. Shout out Mike Bassett, Norwich City, England manager.
Tonight we're playing 4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Brilliant. Oh, I love it, guys.